Okay guys, so let's highlight this wig to the gods, honey. Yes. So items gonna be used today are a comb and a brush, and we're gonna need some lightener. Mine is blue based. The blue helps cancel out any warm tones like red and orange. Okay, and I'm just gonna pour a little bit into a bowl. Now we're gonna use some 40 volume developer. Now I'm using 40 volume because this is a wig, yes, and there is no body heat, and body heat helps lightener to work and activate. So I'm gonna use a higher volume. And as you can see, it was a little runny. Just add a little bit more, and this is pretty much the consistency that I like to work with. And the technique we are using today is balayage. Oh, and of course you need some saran wrap. That's going to help keep the pieces separated. Butterfly clips and a paddle. So this is the balayage technique, guys. This is how I put my highlights in. And balayage is a French technique for highlights. Super popular in New York City in high-end salons because it gives you a very natural finish with no harsh lines. Okay, so as you can see here, I am pulling out all the hair and the hairline because I don't want the highlights directly on the hairline. Okay, so what you do is you load up your paddle with your concoction of lightener, and I'm just gonna pull out a few pieces in the hairline behind the hair that I pulled out and start painting on some highlights. Now the secret to this is starting in the middle and then working your way up slowly, and the hand sweeping motion needs to get lighter as you get to the top. So very light pressure at the top. You kind of want to make a little tiny little point, and then at the bottom you want to slap on as much product as possible because that's where you want the hair to be the lightest, and so you need the product to be very saturated. And at the end you give it like one final smooth over, and then you let it drop. Okay, so I'm going to show you again. Pulling out a piece of hair, grabbing some product, loading it on my paddle first. Okay, taking a little bit on my brush and starting in the middle of the strand, and then I'm going to slowly work my way up. I'm not going directly to the root. It's unnecessary. It's a wig. And I don't want the highlights literally coming from the root anyway, so I leave about 1 inch or 2 from the top. And I'm going to show you again. I'm just going to show you a few times before I speed it up for you guys, just so you can really understand what I'm doing. I'm sorry if the lighting is not perfect, but you just got to look at the flick of that wrist, you know. My wrist, when I work to the top, I do very short little baby strokes, working up using little product and then getting much more heavy on the product as I work my way down the strand. Okay, so I love balayage because it's a very personal technique. You literally are putting the highlights where you want it piece by piece, whereas with foil you kind of have to follow a semi pattern when you're putting the foil in so that you hit certain areas. With the balayage you can literally put it where you want it. If you want highlights in certain areas because you have a certain haircut or where your hair falls, you can go right in and hit that exact piece. Whereas with foil, you put them all over and the highlights kind of get all over, and no special part really peeks out or jumps at you. You generally just look lighter all over. Alright, so what I'm doing here is putting a piece of saran wrap underneath because I don't want those pieces I pulled out first to get lighter, and I don't want the product to touch it. So I'm just wrapping that piece up now. Now, the saran wrap is super important because it's going to help keep out the air. Your product needs to be moist and stay moist for it to continue lifting levels of the hair. Once it dries out, it does not work anymore. As any hair color, it starts to oxidize and it starts to weaken over time with the air. Okay, so if this was a real client, you would do the same thing. So now I'm just going to sit back and let you guys just watch me finish just one section and super fast motion. Okay, and you'll see I'm going to show you this whole section because I want you to see how many layers I put in there, basically rows. And I'm going to do that on the other side of the head and the back of the head. I'm working by section because you're going to have to rinse one section at a time. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share with everyone you know, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you, and you have an amazing day. Be boutiquey, stay boutiquey. Mwah.